Have you ever had the impression that someone was brought into your life solely to cause you difficulty? It's critical that you identify those who make an effort to undermine you. You'll recognize the indicators if you continue to observe. Gaslighting and manipulative conduct are strategies frequently used by those who are influenced by evil influences. These strategies are intended to manipulate and trick people in their vicinity. Specifically, gaslighting is a type of psychological manipulation in which the abuser falsifies facts to cause the victim to question their own sense of reality and sanity. It causes confusion and damages one's sense of self, particularly when one is on a spiritual awakening journey. Gaslighters manipulate their victims by questioning their own feelings and experiences through denial, reduction, and shifting of responsibility. They may try to discredit the victim's memories or instill guilt by manipulating circumstances. The victim's sense of self is undermined by the gaslighter's persistent manipulation, which also increases their vulnerability to their manipulation. It can be very harmful to experience gaslighting during a spiritual awakening journey. By fostering doubt and ambiguity, it impedes the process of self-discovery and personal development. Victims could find it difficult to recognize what is real and what isn't, or to trust their instincts. This can cause feelings of perplexity and irritation, as well as impede spiritual path advancement. Being able to spot gaslighting and other forms of manipulation is crucial for self-defense during spiritual awakening. People can stay clear on their spiritual path and avoid becoming victims of manipulation by being aware of these strategies and learning to trust their own intuition. It's critical to surround oneself with dependable, encouraging people who promote and foster personal development, rather than those who try to manipulate or trick. A person in your life who exhibits grandiosity and a superiority mentality could also be impacted by darker powers. These people frequently have a big ego and think they're better or more significant than other people. They can feel that they deserve special treatment and beg for praise and attention all the time. A superiority complex has the power to obscure real connections and impede human development. Darker, force-influenced people may find it difficult to build true relationships because they feel unworthy or inferior to others. This might result in a lack of understanding and empathy for the viewpoints of others, which makes it challenging to build deep connections. Grandiosity can also cause a person to become spiritually disoriented by putting a barrier between them and greater realities. Some may shut themselves up to important teachings and insights if they think they are superior to other people or the spiritual path itself. People may not be able to grow personally or realize their full spiritual potential as a result. Recognizing grandiosity and superiority complex in people around us is crucial. Recognizing these characteristics helps us stay out of unhealthy relationships and keep our attention on our own spiritual growth. Having real, modest people around us who appreciate empathy and connection can provide a nurturing atmosphere for spiritual development. Their lack of empathy and propensity for emotional vampire behavior are more signs. These people frequently use other people's emotions for their own emotional advantage, displaying a callous disdain for their feelings and well-being. They are unable or unwilling to comprehend or experience what other people are feeling when they lack empathy. Without consideration for the effects on others, they could manipulate or take advantage of emotions for their own gain. People who are close to them may become drained and worn out as a result of this emotional exploitation. Emotional vampires use other people's emotional energy to fuel their own desires. These people could actively seek out sympathetic people who are more easily manipulated, depriving them of their good energy and leaving them feeling exhausted. Associating with people who behave in this way might impede spiritual development and produce poisonous relationships. To safeguard one's energy and well-being, it's critical to identify the warning signals of emotional vampire behavior and establish healthy boundaries. Having a supportive and compassionate circle of people around oneself can help mitigate the consequences of emotional vampire syndrome and create a favorable atmosphere for spiritual development. Darker, force-influenced people frequently pull down those around them and continue a vicious circle of negativity. They constantly project negativity and criticism with the intention of undermining other people's self-esteem and confidence. Their criticism is not helpful. Rather, it is intended to sow doubt and unease in the minds of those who are targeted. This negative pattern is a tactic used to prevent others from realizing their greatest potential. These people never stop discrediting everyone around them, which helps them feel in charge and in control. It is essential to identify this tendency in order to safeguard one's mental and spiritual health. Being surrounded by negativity all the time can be exhausting and impede spiritual development. Setting limits and minimizing contact with those who feed this vicious cycle of negativity is crucial. Instead, look for encouraging and upbeat connections that promote development and assistance. A nurturing environment for spiritual development is produced when one surrounds oneself with people who uplift others instead of tearing them down. Staying away from unending negativity allows one to stay optimistic and concentrate on their spiritual path without needless distractions. You can become intellectually and spiritually exhausted by interacting with people who are affected by negative energies. These people are negative energy magnets who frequently guide talks in the direction of criticism and pessimism. Interacting with them can be likened to stumbling through a dark marsh, where each exchange leaves you feeling drained and fatigued. Your optimism and vitality are sucked away by their energy, which is like a black hole. You might notice that when you engage with them, you internalize their poisonous viewpoints and absorb their bad feelings. This mental and spiritual exhaustion might impede your personal development and make you feel as though you're locked in a never-ending cycle of inertia. Understanding this depleting impact is essential to safeguarding your spiritual health. It's critical to establish boundaries and restrict your interactions with people who deplete your vitality. Restock your spiritual stores and get the confidence to press on with your enlightenment quest by surrounding yourself with positive influences which encourage and uplift you. Setting your own mental and spiritual well-being as a top priority can help you protect yourself from the negative influence of people who wish to undermine you. Recall that you are in charge of who you let into your life, so make the decision to be in the company of people who encourage and support your spiritual development. An obvious clue that someone in your life might be being used by evil spirits is if they actively promote immoral actions. These people not only act in ways that go against your moral principles, but they also make an effort to convince you to follow their foolish goals. Their goals are to deceive you and undermine your integrity, not to encourage or mentor you. They could entice you to engage in activities that are against your moral compass by making exciting or pleasurable promises. These people will do whatever, including lying, manipulating you, or indulging in vices like lust, greed, or jealousy, to lure you down a path that will ultimately destroy your soul. Their impact can be subtle but sneaky, gradually weakening your moral compass until you find yourself defending behaviors that were once unimaginable. You run the risk of straying from the road of spiritual enlightenment and losing sight of your principles if you give in to their persuasiveness. It's critical to restate your devotion to your ideals and principles in order to counteract this impact. In your spiritual path, remind yourself of the value of righteousness, compassion, and integrity. Those who uphold your ideals and encourage you in your quest for spiritual development should be in your immediate vicinity. One such trick used by persons under the control of evil spirits is to gently plant doubts about your beliefs and morals. These people may try to discredit your sense of direction and purpose by disputing your views or the veracity of your spiritual path. They may use a nuanced approach disguising themselves as inquisitive or intelligent discussions, but their real goal is to undermine your self-assurance and sow doubt in your mind. They try to weaken your commitment and divert you from the road of enlightenment by challenging your faith and morals. It's critical to understand how sneaky these strategies are and take precautions to avoid being influenced by them. Reaffirm your convictions and fortify your faith by surrounding yourself with positive influences. Look for spiritual communities, mentors, or leaders who can support and inspire you on your spiritual path. Genuine spiritual development arises from asking insightful questions and pursuing a deeper comprehension, not from doubts sown to deceive you. You can guard against the destabilizing influence of people who want to undermine your spiritual path by maintaining steadfastness in your religion and upholding your moral principles. Relationships impacted by negative energies frequently go through a cycle of devaluation and then love bombing. The first stages of a relationship are known as love bombing, when the offender shows the victim a lot of love, attention, and extravagant gestures. This intense expression of love and appreciation can be exhilarating and lead to a state of intoxication. Nevertheless, devaluation, an abrupt change in conduct where the offender starts to question the victim's confidence and sense of self, often follows this stage. They might discount, disparage, or condemn the victim's achievements, emotions, and ideas. For the victim, this abrupt shift can be confusing and emotionally upsetting, as they may find it difficult to comprehend why they are no longer appreciated or what they did wrong. Narcissists and those affected by darker powers frequently employ the cycle of love bombing and devaluation as a means of controlling and manipulating their victims. They acquire the victim's confidence and affection by idealizing them during the love bombing phase, only to devalue them and leave them emotionally damaged and reliant during the devaluation phase. To safeguard oneself from emotional abuse and manipulation, it's critical to identify this pattern in relationships and establish boundaries. People can escape toxic relationships and build wholesome, loving bonds based on respect and sincere compassion by learning the strategies employed by those influenced by darker influences. I want to thank you for watching if you're still with me. If you liked the information and would like to see more, please think about hitting the subscribe button. We are grateful for your support. Please feel free to share your ideas or experiences in the section below. Till we speak again, be careful and check back for more thought-provoking articles.